Welcome, energy sector B2B leaders. Today, we're diving into a highly technical, absolutely crucial explainer based on the Project 54 dossier. We're looking at a massive structural shift happening right now in the 2026 industrial energy market, and it's all being driven by one thing: autonomous procurement agents. This is your strategic blueprint. We're going to engineer a response to an environment where traditional outbound isn't just failing, it's literally becoming mathematically obsolete. Okay, let's get into it.
Right off the bat, we need to establish the stakes here. 320%. The data dictates that an integrated AI-powered automated email sequence infrastructure creates an undeniable 320% revenue delta. That is the exact mathematical gap currently separating market leaders from the laggards. We aren't talking about marginal 1% gains anymore. We're talking about a fundamental ground-up transformation in how industrial value is actually verified and secured.
So here's how we're breaking this down today. We've got 5 phases: the 2026 procurement shift, the group consensus mandate, surviving the agentic era, engineering precision and truth, and finally, quantifying industrial ROI. Think of this as your technical blueprint to survive in a heavily filtered machine-to-machine market.
Okay, starting off with Section 1, the 2026 procurement shift, or as I like to look at it, the absolute death of the human discovery call. Look, the modern battlefield has entirely shifted. That subjective, relationship-based sales narrative, it's dead. Today, 61% of buyers demand rep-free, machine-readable, technical transparency before they ever even think about speaking to a human. When you're dealing with high-capital deals, think, a $10 million compression station expansion, human-to-human engagement at the top of the funnel is gone. The inbox operates strictly as a machine-to-machine environment now. Your sender-side AI agents are just out there trying to survive the recipient-side algorithmic filters. And those filters? They're prioritizing messages based purely on semantic value and factual density.
Which leads us right into Section 2, the group consensus mandate, and honestly, the sheer danger of having a singular focus. Those legacy, generic marketing workflows you might still be using, they're actively harming your pipeline. The old sales playbook was all about building individual rapport with a single champion inside a company, right? But complex industrial purchases are collective. They involve anywhere from 5 to 16 distinct stakeholders. So the new mandate is group validation. You've got to distribute role-appropriate technical data to all of those people simultaneously. The CFO needs your net present value modeling, while the VP of operations is looking for your predictive maintenance data.
If you hyper-personalize your content for just one individual, you're actually creating a massive 59% negative impact on achieving that group validation. Why? Because you're literally starving the rest of the buying committee of the operational data they need to actually sign off on the deal. Fragmented individual interest has to be converted into structured organizational consensus.
Let's transition to Section 3, surviving the agentic era and the rapid rise of autonomous procurement.
By 2026, the wall between marketing and data engineering is completely gone, permanently erased. Vendor evaluation has shifted entirely to autonomous, AI-driven models. So meet your new gatekeepers, the agent architects. These are the folks engineering the procurement algorithms that read a vendor's digital footprint and compare massive EPC bids without any human intervention whatsoever. They're designing AI to autonomously ingest technical data and run should-cost modeling at a scale we've never really seen before. To survive these digital gatekeepers, you absolutely need what we call the contextual layer. This is a system of embeddings and vector databases where all your company's engineering specs and safety records are securely stored. Let me be crystal clear about the stakes here. If your organization fails to engineer this contextual layer into its digital footprint, you become mathematically invisible to the autonomous screening tools used by massive energy developers. You literally cease to exist in their procurement reality. No visibility, no pipeline.
Moving right along to Section 4, engineering precision and truth. This is all about the architectural requirements you need to actually bypass those sophisticated recipient-side filters. Let's talk about ESG constraints for a second. If you're using absolute, vague claims like eco-friendly or carbon neutral, you are immediately triggering regulatory risk and algorithmic suppression. The AI filters demand verifiable truth. You have to systematically inject raw, substantiated field telemetry right into your email sequences. We're talking about publishing the exact tons of waste recycled, the exact CO2 saved, or specific methane intensity reductions tracked by optical gas imaging. It completely transforms marketing from fluffy PR into precise commercial disclosure. But how on earth do you ensure that level of precision across thousands of automated emails? Well, the answer is Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG. RAG enforces factual accuracy by anchoring your AI-generated content in real-world external databases before it even drafts a single sentence. It uses vector embeddings and cosine similarity to hit a 91% context retrieval precision rate. By doing this, you're entirely eliminating AI hallucination in your outreach. Every single claim is verified, precise, and structurally sound.
So, how does this fit into the B2B pipeline velocity framework? Get this. Emails triggered by specific intent behaviors represent merely 2% of your total send volume, but that tiny, tiny fraction generates an incredible 41% of total email revenue. It's wild. By tracking anonymous behavioral signals, your AI systems can deploy these contextually relevant, RAG-verified sequences at the exact mathematical moment a purchasing window opens.
Of course, literally none of that matters if the email never actually arrives. Technical deliverability is a machine-to-machine sport now. You have to establish strict SPF, DKIM, and DMARC architecture. You've got to deploy AI warm-up networks to simulate human-like interactions to build domain trust, and then use AI-orchestrated inbox rotation across those warm domains. If you don't have this exact infrastructure built out, your AI-generated emails are going to be instantly blocked and suppressed by automated ISP filters. Game over. Finally, we're at Section 5, Quantifying Industrial ROI. Because in 2026, vanity metrics are completely obsolete. Marketing is held to a rigorous mathematical standard.
Check out the Marketing Contribution to Pipeline, or MCP. To isolate the actual financial impact of your digitally sourced leads, you take the sum of your digitally sourced leads, multiply that by your average contract value, multiply that by your historical win rate, and then divide the whole thing by your total marketing spend. It is a ruthless, exact quantification of industrial ROI.
And the benchmark for that formula? It's a 5-to-1 ratio. That is the baseline architecture you need for healthy B2B performance, especially when you're up against the 6 to 9% historical win rates typical of million-dollar CapEx projects in the midstream sector. If your systems aren't hitting this 5-to-1 baseline, your architecture is failing. It's that simple.
All right, let's pull all of this together into the ultimate strategic blueprint. When you compare the rapidly decaying traditional outbound model against the Project 54 AI native method utilizing the Gentelis framework, the contrast is just absolute night and day. We're moving from static, decaying lists to real-time ingestion. We're going from basic demographic token insertion to RAG-driven contextual synthesis. We're abandoning that single-threaded champion focus and moving to multi-threaded technical data distribution across the whole buying committee. And we are dropping absolute fluffy claims for hard, substantiated proof points. This is exactly how you systematically convert operational complexity into measurable pipeline velocity.
Which brings us to a final, provocative thought to wrap up this explainer. I want you to ask yourself honestly, is your revenue architecture engineered to survive algorithmic invisibility, or are you still relying on human discovery calls? The bifurcation of quality in industrial B2B engagement is absolute right now. You must embrace precise, structured data orchestration if you actually want to compete. Project 54, Revenue Architecture, engineered.